Welcome back, y'all, and happy Sunday. Today, I'm going to break down why I think Dont'e Thornton Jr. took his draft stock from being potentially an undrafted free agent to the second or third round, all based off of his showing at the 2025 NFL Combine. And I've seen some other analysts and experts on the same page with me, but there's way too many that just don't know what to do with the players coming from Josh Heupel's offense. I think that it's a whole lot of lazy takes where they don't necessarily understand football as much, so they can't see how the game translates. They'll say things, and it's not just about the wide receivers, but running backs, quarterbacks, but specifically today about the wide receivers that, well, they're not running a full route tree, and a whole lot of it is just vertical routes, and they're only getting open based off of the spacing. But today I'm going to break down and show everybody, okay, especially those that don't understand football and are saying all these negative things about Tennessee's offense, why that is absolutely false, and why Dont'e Thornton really should be a second or third round draft pick, and potentially, maybe the biggest riser that we've ever seen coming from any NFL combine. But with all that being said, y'all, please do make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, y'all, we're going to start by looking at Dont'e Thornton's next-gen stats from the 2025 NFL Combine. He came in at about 6'5", 205 pounds. His 40 time was a 4.3 flat, which is ridiculous. Clocked as fast as 23.6 miles per hour, and his max acceleration was 6.38 yards per second. Now, just to put this in different terms for you, Dont'e Thornton is the fastest wide receiver in NFL scouting combine history that's over 6'3", and there's only 8 wide receivers total that ran a faster time than Dante did. So, yeah, he's definitely special. He's different. We haven't ever seen anything quite like a Dont'e Thornton, and some of y'all might be thinking about Randy Moss. So Randy Moss would be close to the same height, probably wasn't the same weight coming out of college. He was probably about like a buck 80 or like a buck 85. And he was clocked at a 4.25 on a handheld time. Now, the difference here between handheld and laser, which is what we're running now, that's what Dante ran, is about 2.5 tenths of a second. So Dante would have ran about a 4.1 on a handheld time, and Randy Moss would have ran about a 4.5 on a laser time. So yes, this is different. This is special. And just a simple fact that more people aren't gushing over him based off of those simple metrics is mind-blowing to me. Now let's talk about what Dante actually did on the field. So up at the top, you're seeing what he did last season, 2024, 750 yards, averaging almost 26 yards per catch, 10.8 yards after the catch. So he can definitely make you miss and make things happen. That's what I think everybody wants. Just those little numbers right there, playing in the SEC, that should tell you a lot. He had 6 touchdowns, 13 explosives, which is catches or pass plays that go for 15 or more yards. He caught 29 of the 38 passes that were thrown to him. That's 76.3%. But of the catchable ones, he caught 93.5. He only had 2 drops last year. So he was definitely Tennessee's most consistent and most productive wide receiver in 2024. But if you look at what he did from 2023 to 2024, it's a little bit of a different story. Obviously, you're adding in the 2024, but his 2023 season wasn't as good as last year, right? So he was playing in the slot. That's another thing that I think everyone should love as an NFL team. You should want the wide receivers and players, period, that are versatile. So Dante can play inside or outside, but looking at his numbers just at Tennessee, for the past couple of seasons, 974 yards, averaging 23.2 yards per catch, 9.9 yards after the catch, 7 total touchdowns, 18 total explosives, caught 42 of the 60 passes that were thrown to him. That's 70%. He caught 89.4% of the catchable ones. He had a total of 5 drops. So what we're seeing here, y'all, is obviously he was a lot more consistent in everything in 2024, but that's what you should expect from any player, right? They're supposed to be getting better. So that means that he is still trending upwards. Now, he is a little bit older than some of these other players, but I don't think that should matter too much. Wide receivers can play for a long time inside of the NFL. And also, as another point of reference, just for all of us Vol fans, Dante's had 5 drops over the course of his 2 seasons at Tennessee, and Chris Brazo, I'm not trying to pick on him, but he had 6 just last year. So I would say that that's not too shabby over the course of 2 seasons. All right, y'all, now it's time to jump inside of the film room, and we're going to start off with Dont'e Thornton's short routes that he was asked to run at the University of Tennessee. So on this first one, what we're seeing is he's just going to run a simple little hook route. This is versus the Ohio State Buckeyes, and this is a zone. So there's 2 players that Dante has to try to fit in between. He's got to sit his route down in a soft spot inside of the zone. That's exactly what teams do inside of the NFL. That's why it's so difficult to run zone. But this is what he does here, right? Just very simply put, he's going to get open, makes himself big, makes the catch. The first thing that I love is that he's able to make that first man miss. He gets up the field. Now, this is a 10-yard gain on a simple little hitch. Next play, what we're seeing from Dante is an out route, okay? It's just like a 5 to 7 yard out. It's a speed out. It's a quick out. But right here, I think Dante does another really good job with this route. So something that I have seen from some of the analysts is that they don't like the way that he runs his routes. But look at this. He stems it to the inside, breaks wide open, catches with his hands, makes a man miss, gets up the field. It's not just about him going vertical and getting the yak and all that. He can do that even off of some of these shorter routes. So next play, what we're going to see from Dante is he's lined up on the outside, and this is one-on-one coverage, right? I mean, we're going to keep a close eye on him. So boom, right here. Look at the separation that he gets on a simple hitch. It's just a comeback route, but about 5 yards of separation. That's plenty. But with the comeback routes, you start off with that 5 yards. The quarterback's supposed to throw it a little bit behind that. You keep on working back to the football, something that Dante is going to do very well on this play. Again, makes the first man miss, and he falls forward. You're going to see that consistently throughout this film. Now, on this next one, we have single coverage, and this is just a simple slant. So we've already gone through, what, 3 or 4 different routes that Dont'e Thornton has run. There's not that many routes inside of a route tree, and it's not hard to teach someone how to run them. But we're seeing that he has all the skills and all the tools necessary to run anything that you ask him. So inside breaking routes, outside breaking routes, and then just comeback routes. We've already seen that he can do all those things. So on this one, it's a slant, one-on-one coverage. Actually, that cornerback has inside leverage. It's tough to get the inside leverage as a wide receiver whenever the cornerback is playing that inside leverage. So on this one, Dante does a really good job of stemming up the field and making that cornerback bite to the outside so that he's got that opening to the middle of the field to make this catch. And yeah, he's dangerous once he does make the catch. Number one, beautiful job of making the catch over the middle, and he's falling forward yet again. So on this next one, okay, very similar. This is another slant, but this is an RPO. Now, something that the NFL loves to do, because they kind of copycatted off of what college has been doing, as much as we love to say, oh, well, that's a college-style offense, and it's not going to ever work in the NFL. They said that for years, but now everyone runs different versions of the option, and that's exactly what this is. So on this one, what we're doing is we're reading that safety, right? So the safety is the one that's circled in red. And if he bites up on the run, all of a sudden, Dante has one-on-one coverage. You can give Dante one-on-one coverage because all of that field back there is wide open for him. It doesn't matter what the route is, he can get to it. So right here, we have a slant that's going to give him that opportunity to actually get up the field. And of course, again, he wins that inside leverage battle versus the cornerback, and he gets into the end zone. You will never stop him. He's just too fast. So in this situation, we have a simple comeback in man-to-man coverage, and we're going to go ahead and let this thing roll. I'll kind of highlight what I'm talking about here. That looked like that was another RPO, but again, we see the separation. Now, he's able to catch the football and get his body turned up the field. He squares his body up the field vertically because now that cornerback who was playing one-on-one coverage, it's a one-on-one tackle situation. So watch what Dante does to this guy, okay? You're going to be able to watch him as he just makes a miss, and the guy can't ever get to him. Now, he didn't get a whole lot of yards right there, but in a, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 7, something like that, Dante is such a good athlete that he can make you miss, and he can get those yards for you. He can also get you 10 if you need 10, whatever you want, whatever you need. Dante can definitely do that. Now, this is another situation, okay, on a slant where it's an RPO game. Just wanted to show y'all that this is not a fluke with Dante by any means. If you don't have safety help over the top, he will kill you. You have to truly dedicate a safety over the top. Now, why does this mean anything at all? Because again, in the NFL, those RPOs, if that safety stays back on Dante, well, now you can run the ball right there. So that's a very positive look. So what he's doing is he's taking away, or he's making openings for his teammates just because he's such a good athlete, and you can't stop him one-on-one. So here, boom, slant, safety bites up. That's 6 points, baby. Like, you can't do nothing but get your roll on, just like Mouse used to say. All right, so now let's talk about the intermediate routes that Dont'e Thornton was asked to run at the University of Tennessee. And on this first one, what we're going to have is another kind of like bracket coverage. So the guy up at the line of scrimmage, that cornerback that's circled in red, he's the underneath guy, and then the safety that's also in red with the string with him right there, he's going to be playing over the top. So Dante is going to do a really good job right here on a dig right here, right? So he's going to fit right in between both of those players. And this is another route that we have not seen him run just yet. Now, that's a very nice dig. He gets to the perfect depth. He makes the catch. There's a guy right on his, right on his heels, but he's still able to make this catch. So the beautiful thing about Dante is he's always looking to get up the field. He's always looking to score. Again, look at all that, open green grass that he has inside of that blue box. He is going to get tackled here, but he was just like a shoestring away from taking that one the distance as well, even with double coverage. Now, again, these are some deeper routes. These are not the shorter ones. These are the deeper ones. So this is not a slant. This is now a post. It's a different route, very similar, but it is different. Same thing though, right? The RPO game. Get that safety to bite up on that run. You don't have that help over the top. and one-on-one matchup with the cornerback, all that green grass. Hey, look, baby, you about to get your roll on. Matter of fact, I might have to throw Moss in this thing. Maybe I'll throw him in there in post. But yeah, I mean, breakaway speed, obviously just a tremendous, tremendous athlete. So in this situation, this is just a, straight up comeback. So it's not the same as a hitch. This is a comeback where you're going, 10 to 15 yards. You're making that cornerback push deep. You want to push him off like you're going vertical. The guy like Dont'e Thornton, that's super fast, almost 24 miles an hour. Cornerbacks are not going to let him eat up too much of that cushion. So the comeback stuff should always be there. But Dante does a really good job, on this route of just setting it up. So boom, he's going to stem him to the inside. And the reason that he's stemming to the inside is to give himself some more room to the outside. But what did we talk about before with those hitches? Now we've still got that 5 yards of separation. That's there all the time. I mean, it doesn't matter. With the guy that's this good of an athlete, really good hands, gets 2 feet in bounds, what you need inside of the NFL. Now, this play, pretty much same thing, right? We've got one-on-one coverage is going to be another comeback. This time the comeback is breaking to the inside instead of to the outside. So it really doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? He can, make all these catches inside, outside, breaking 5 yards of separation yet again. And he's going to work back to the football, use his hands, squares his body up, goes through the tackle, continues to fall forward. 2 people are tackling him there. So right here, this is another one of those posts where this is an RPO. Get the safety to bite down. Dante's going to win. We've already seen him win in double coverage. We've seen him win in single coverage all the time. That's automatic. But right here, man, it doesn't even take much. Give him just a little bit of space. And then the open field vision, the open field running, following his blocks, using his speed. Yeah, I mean, this is a home run threat. You know what I'm saying? This is a guy that can hit the home runs from pretty much anywhere. Now let's talk about the deep routes that Dont'e Thornton was asked to run at the University of Tennessee, at least some of them. So on this first one, it's just a straight up go. We have a guy playing off coverage. So it's tough to run past someone whenever they're playing off, but also pay attention to how physical that cornerback's being with Dante in his route. Something that a lot of folks aren't talking about with, are you really good at running routes? It's about, hey, if a guy's being physical with you down the field, which you can't do this once you get to the NFL. They can't do it past 5 yards. You can only really do this playing college ball. But this guy is kind of mugging on Dante, but it's not throwing him off of his route. It's not slowing him down enough for the cornerback to be a real factor right here. So the next part of it that we haven't really touched on just yet with Dante is he is very high level with tracking the football in the air. You can see that, again, the guy's kind of mugging him, but Dante's concentration doesn't get thrown off. He tracks the football very well. That's a fingertip catch. So he's got those strong hands. He gets you all the way within the 5 yard line. You should be able to punch it in from there all day long. So on this one, we're going to have another brackets coverage. That cornerback is going to be in an outside trail technique. What that means is he wants to try to force Dante back to the inside. Then we have a safety that's going to be playing over the top. So we have a cornerback that's playing outside and under Dante, and then we've got the safety that's just supposed to be flat out over the top. Now, the issue here is that the safety does not give nearly enough ground. You can't play this sort of a flat safety look. If you're going to be playing over the top with Dont'e Thornton, you really have to get over the top. What that means for the offense is you're taking players away from that box, and now they can't key in as much on your running game or on some of these other underneath routes and things like that. But Dante does a beautiful job of setting this route up. So he's going to take that, inside, right? And then he's going to work back and stem, get on top of that cornerback to the outside, and also be able to, give his quarterback enough room to fit this ball into a really tight window. So let me show you what we're talking about here. So boom, again, Dont'e Thornton does a great job with tracking that football, but look at all the space he left for his quarterback to throw this. That is I'm not going to say that that's an easy window, but it's a much easier window than it would have been if the route wasn't set up the way that Dante did it with everything that's going on. And also, going back to the concentration, you have a safety that's going to get a kill shot on you, right? Like, you got to be able to watch the football all the way into your hands. Some players can't do it. Dante hasn't had a problem doing that really at all, but especially in 2024, just didn't have a problem. And, once he gets there, I mean, he's very difficult to stop. But let's go on to this next one. So right here, what we have is another man-to-man situation, and this is just a straight go. Like we said, man, if Dante ever gets, one-on-one coverage with no safety over the top, that area, behind that cornerback is open. You can almost close your eyes, snap the football, and throw it up, and Dante's going to go and get it. So he's showing that right here. This is actually from 2023. Really good job of actually setting up this route. But in this situation, right, the cornerback is doing a very good job in coverage. So Dante does have him beat. The ball is a little bit underthrown. That's what makes it look like the coverage is actually better than what it is. But what did we just talk about, man? Dont'e Thornton will track the football even in tight coverage. He'll make those, tougher catches that I don't think too many wide receivers are doing. Now that cornerback is saying that that's an incomplete pass, but we're seeing both of these referees are coming in to confirm that that is 6 points, baby. You can see that their arms are starting to go up. So excellent job right there. I feel like by Dante. In this situation, Dante's inside of the slot. Like we said, he could play inside or outside. So back inside of the slot, this is a route that's almost impossible to stop, especially with a player that's as tall and as fast as Dante. It's the slot fade. You're not going to stop this with Dante at all. Like there's just pretty much no way, right? So that's another part of his game. Obviously, talking about all this vertical stuff. Now, here we have a cornerback that's up at the line of scrimmage. How's he going to do versus the press? Well, this corner is not actually going to get hands on him. That's a huge mistake. You cannot come up to the line of scrimmage and try to press Dont'e Thornton without actually pressing him. You got to get your hands on him, and even still, it's not going to do much for you. So that's a turn and bail technique from that corner, which means at the line of scrimmage, on the snap of the football, he's turning and running as fast as he possibly can up the field. But again, that's a mistake because Dont'e Thornton is going to be faster than most of the cornerbacks, even in the NFL, but definitely in college. So here, concentration. Yet again, we see that the hand is going up from that cornerback, but it doesn't bother Dante, right? He makes the catch, looks at that cornerback like he's stupid, and just walks on into the end zone. Now let's take a look at Dont'e Thornton's improvised routes, okay? So this is what happens whenever the first route or the play period just breaks down. So on this one, Dante was supposed to be running a hitch route, okay? And that's exactly what he's gonna do. So we'll go ahead and let this thing roll. So he's gonna run the hitch, okay? Cornerback does a decent job. I think that Dante's probably open, but what Dante notices is that his quarterback is scrambling. His quarterback is scrambling to his right and to Dante's right and to the quarterback's left. So he's scrambling towards this sideline. Dante does a beautiful job after he sees that of getting right up the field, getting his head right back around, finding and locating that football and making a catch with a guy right there on him, then makes a miss. And then he's getting you that yak. He has the speed, he has everything that you would want and need inside of a wide receiver on any level. On this one, this is more of a hook. So on this play, gonna be very, very similar. Dante's gonna go through his route, and actually at this point, Dante's open, but he's seeing that his quarterback is in that scramble drill. So what Dante knows is that he's already got a guy to his outside, right? So that's what you're seeing there. He's already got a wide receiver that's closer to the sideline. So Dante can't go to the sideline like he did on that previous play. On this one, he has to work back to the middle to give some spacing so that, hey, maybe that wide receiver that's close to the sideline, maybe he'll get open, right? He's giving his quarterback more options, but he's also saying, well, I see a whole lot of space over here inside of the middle of this football field that I can get to, and maybe he'll hit me. Either way, that's what you need to be able to do, as a football player, wide receiver, whatever. Great job of making that first man miss. And now, that open field vision that he has is very underrated. No one's talking about Dante's vision, but what he can see is that, hey, there's a guy that's trailing me to my right. There's a guy that's on top of me with an angle to my left. So how can I make the most out of this situation? Well, he's going to run away from the guy that's behind him, makes the guy that's got the angle on him miss, and he's just getting as many yards as he possibly can for his football team. So you got to love that. On this one right here, this was a critical situation for Tennessee versus Arkansas. Tennessee's losing at this point. I believe that this was in the fourth quarter. This was a critical third down situation. Might have even been a fourth down situation. Either way, Dante's route is a dig. He's going to get bracketed. They're going to play really tight coverage on him because they know, hey, we got to stop, number one, we got to stop Dont'e Thornton. So they're going to try to do that, right? They're actually going to have pretty decent coverage here. I mean, you probably could still throw that. That's a really tight window. But Dante notices, oh my gosh, my quarterback is in trouble. For him to notice that quickly within that route, again, that just speaks to the savviness of a veteran wide receiver. So he says, hey man, my quarterback is in trouble. Understands that there's a wide receiver that's underneath him to the sideline. So there it is. So now he's going to work up the field to the sideline in a place where, hey, look, there's a whole lot of space here. I know that Nico's got a cannon. He can fit it. He fit it into this window. So he gives him a very nice window with this, reroute, with this second route that he's running for Nico to fit a very good football into. But at the same time, this is a tough catch in a critical situation with two people on him. Dante still has really good concentration. He tracks the football very well. And, he makes a big time spectacular catch. So next we have Dante running a post in man-to-man coverage, bump and run coverage, and he's going to do a great job of getting that inside release. So that's something else. Even when they try to hit you, you can't hit Dante because he's a lot quicker and shiftier than you might think. But Dante, he's looking at his quarterback and says, oh my gosh, he's scrambling out yet again. So Dante does a really good job of throttling things down with no other threats, with no other pass catching threats to this side on Dante's team. So I'm going to work on over to the sideline where there's plenty of room. and give my quarterback a really nice window yet again to fit this football into. And Dante makes the catch inbounds and shows a whole lot of toughness while he's at it. All right, so hopefully I was able to make my point on why Dante is not just this tall, fast guy that's only this vertical threat. He can run every other route that's underneath inside of the route tree. And let's actually talk more about being a vertical threat and that kind of being a knock on wide receivers. The reason that I brought up Randy Moss earlier, and again, I'm not saying that Dont'e Thornton is going to be Randy Moss. I'm just trying to draw an easy correlation of a name that I think everybody would know. I still think Randy Moss is the best wide receiver probably in NFL history, one of my favorite players of all time. So I'm definitely not trying to take a shot at him. But my whole point in trying to draw that correlation is that Randy Moss was pretty much just a vertical guy. That's what everyone always said about him. But no one was ever really able to stop him. Now, once he got older, he did start to run more routes just a little bit more often because the speed kind of left him. But the whole point is that any dangerous wide receiver needs to be a vertical threat first, especially in the NFL versus the best secondary players on the face of the planet. If you can't challenge them vertically, they're going to eat up all that underneath stuff, and a whole lot of interceptions will happen. So you got to be able to push them off the football. I don't know why that's some negative thing. To me, it's something that someone just made up somewhere, and they don't have any real knowledge of how football works, of how the coverages work, of how defenses work. And it's not just about that, having to push one guy off of the football, but also having a guy over the top. Make the defense have to run shells, okay? So if you've got two safeties playing high, at least one safety playing high, that's taking away the players from the box. So now the running game opens up. The other players will open up underneath inside of the passing game. So obviously that's a very dangerous thing to have. A guy that looks like he could potentially be the most dangerous vertical threat maybe that we've seen come out of the NFL scouting combine, just based off the numbers and things like that. No one has ever been that tall and that fast as Dont'e Thornton is. So I think that there's just a whole lot of lazy takes going around out there. And it's not just about Dante, it's not just about Tennessee's wide receivers. It's about every single position inside of Coach Heupel's offense. There's too many people that I feel like they're really just haters, or, again, they either don't understand football or they're just being too lazy to actually break down film. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely not a positive thing because it's 100% wrong. But I'm sick of seeing it, man, because I think that could hurt Tennessee. Obviously, it's hurting the players that played here at Tennessee. And y'all know I'm always fight for anybody that wears that orange and wears that power tee. But either way, man, hopefully y'all did learn something from this one. Hopefully y'all was able to make my point. Like I said, if you did learn something, if you like what we did today, please do make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We'll see y'all on the next one. Thanks. Peace.